So with Royal Rumble season on the rise, everybody's making their Royal Rumble videos of who's going to be the first entry, who's going to be the last entry, what are the big moments that are going to happen, who's going to win the dang Rumble. So I got my tiny cowboy hat and I said, you know what, let's go ahead and make a Royal Rumble prediction video. Today we're going to be talking about the women's Royal Rumble, not the men's one, because the women's one is going to be a lot more interesting than the men's side of things. Plus, I don't want to talk about both Rumbles in one video. It's going to be way too dang long of a video, but let's go ahead and jump on into things. Now, to kick things off, we need somebody that's really just going to get the crowd out of their seats, because the women's side of things is going to start the Royal Rumble off, and we want to set the tone for the entire night. So I'm going to go with my number one entry being the longer-awaited return of the Irish last kicker, big-time Bex, the man, Becky Lynch. Everybody's been waiting for her to return. They've been asking for her all dang year long, and it's just going to be an insanely loud pop when she does come out, very similar to when she came back at SummerSlam. But that ain't the only way we're going to set the tone, all right? Because number two is going to be Charlotte Flair. Yes, I want the standoff. Yes, Charlotte Flair is probably going to be upstaging Becky Lynch, but guess what? Charlotte's been doing that her entire career, so why not continue it? Why not continue it with their returns? And it's going to be an absolutely iconic moment. It's going to go down in history as one of the biggest moments in Royal Rumble history. Their feud back in the late 2010s was one of the best feuds in WWE, in my opinion, one of the best women's feuds of all time, and it's going to get an even insaner pop, if that's even a word. Now for number three, we're gonna swerve a little bit, alright? And I don't mean swerve like LiAngelo Ball, no do I mean swerve like Swerve Strickland, but we're gonna be getting somebody who's an absolute force, just like these two, more so swerve than LiAngelo Ball. One, Piper Niven. I understand that she may not be as big of a name, but a lot of people do love Piper, and I feel like if she's going to get into that Women's United States Championship scene, which I do believe she will get into, and it's going to be a very big year for her, putting her at number three, slotted against the likes of Becky Lynch and Charlotte Flair, having big standoffs between the two, having a great showing against the two, is only going to help Piper so much more, and it's going to put so much eyes onto her that we can make her a real force in that women's mid-card scene and have her be one of the top competitors, which I believe that she should be. She had an absolutely amazing showing against Bayley at Clash of the Castle last year, and I really felt like they were going to do more with Piper Niven. Sadly, they just didn't, and now they've kind of thrown her back into being Chelsea's, sidekick, or I guess in this instance, Chelsea's security guard. But I want to see more from Piper Niven in 2025. I want to see her be able to get a lot bigger opportunities and really run that mid-card scene, and I think that this is going to be a great start for her. At number four, another woman that we're also going to be pushing a bit more this year is one Michin. Incredibly talented wrestler, incredibly hard worker, and she's somebody that she has a bit of a rivalry right now with Piper Niven, but the thing that really has been hurting Michin and holding her back is that she just can't get over with the crowd for some reason. I feel like, though, if you have Piper Niven come out with Chelsea Green and Chelsea trying to interfere in the match and all that stuff, you could have Michin come out, chase Chelsea Green around the dang ring, get her out of there, get into the match, and have a pretty good showing. And you can also push that Michin-Piper Niven's kind of rivalry started now, so when Piper Niven does get the belt, or heck, even if Michin gets the belt first, then we can set that feud up later on down the year, and it's going to be a much better feud than I believe it would be if you didn't have this setup already happen. At number five, we're continuing the trend of pushing more women and building them up more. Number five is going to be one Candice LeRae. I believe she's someone that really deserves a big push this year as well. She's now kind of rocking with Nia Jax, but Nia's also going to Monday Night Raw, so who knows what happens with that whole thing. So I feel like getting Candice out there and getting more people to recognize her is going to remind a lot of people, one, of how talented Candice is, and two, it's going to show people who never knew who Candice was just how talented she is, and start asking, why is she not in some, big title pictures? Maybe not the top title spot. That'd be cool if she did get it, though, but at least within that mid-card spot. Also, I feel like you do need a heel in at this point as well, because we have Becky. Who knows what's going to happen with Charlotte, because Tiffany is becoming a bit of a heel, fascist kind of character. So if we are going to get that Charlotte-Tiffany match, maybe Charlotte's the face and Tiffany's the heel. I don't know. You got Meech in there. Sure, you got Piper Niven there, but Candice LeRae is going to be one of the other heels, and maybe her and Piper could even work together against some of the others in the match. Number six, like I said, we are still continuing continuing the trend of helping women who need to be given pushes because they are super talented, and we need another big return here. Not a super big major return, but it's going to be one Kiana James. For the folks who watch NXT, you know how talented Kiana is. She definitely still has a lot of things to work on, but she's someone that could be within that mid-card scene, which I do believe you're going to need to push more wrestlers for. You don't need to just call up everybody from NXT. You have some folks on the main roster who could definitely be within that scene, and Kiana is one of them. Obviously, she missed most of the year because of an injury. I think she should be cleared. If she's not cleared, then I guess we would exclude her from this list, but if she is cleared, I want to see her in the match, and I want to see her become a credible threat to that mid-card scene. Speaking of NXT, number 7, we are going to not call her up, but we're going to show the main roster who she is, and that is Sol Ruca. Super talented woman. If you have not seen her, you need to go check out some NXT, because while I'm not the biggest fan of Sol Ruca either, I'm not like a Sol Ruca stan, I understand exactly how talented she is and how talented she could be one day. And if you start pushing Sol Ruca now, maybe you get her into that mid-card scene for the NXT roster, and then eventually down the line, she gets to potentially, be an NXT Women's Champion, or at least challenge for the NXT Women's Championship. You're going to help her, but that doesn't start if you don't get more eyes on her. There's enough eyes on her right now, but if you get even more, folks are going to be saying, we want Sol Ruca in that, Women's NXT North American Championship picture. We want Sol Ruca in that NXT Women's Championship picture, and then eventually pushing her onto the main roster. I also believe by this point in time, we shouldn't have too many eliminations. I would assume that, Candice might still be there. So some of the high-flying action against Candice, high-flying action against maybe a Piper Niven if she's still there, or even, showing off her athletic ability against one Charlotte Flair. That's why you're giving us Charlotte versus Tiffany, because Tiffany is kind of like a mini Charlotte in a sense. Well, I believe Sol Ruca is actually a lot closer to one Charlotte Flair than Tiffany is, because she has a lot of that same athleticism that Charlotte does. That's going to be a great little moment right there as well, especially for Sol Ruca. Now at number 8, this is one that I'm not a fan of, but you are going to have to put her in this match because she is going to be somebody that's going to be within that mid-card scene. I would prefer her to be on SmackDown than Raw, because it would make more sense for her to get this belt. I guess I should say her name by now. Ivy Nile. I feel like this can be a potential big push for Ivy. There's going to be a lot of women in this match that she's going to be able to show out against. Like, with the high-flying action of one Sol Ruca, you could have her try to do all this flippy stuff, flip right into Ivy Nile, who goes for a German suplex, and the crowd's like, whoa! Maybe she goes for like a cutter or something like that, and then she just hits it with a German suplex. Maybe we even see her German suplex Piper Nivens, or a Charlotte Flair, or a Becky. It's just going to get more excitement into Ivy Nile that it's kind of similar to like how they did with Chad Gable a bit, where they started showing him off against a lot of the high flyers, and people were like, whoa, wait, hold on, we want to see Chad Gable. Do that same thing with Ivy Nile. At number 9, got it right that time. Let's go ahead and push this rivalry just a bit more. Speaking of athletic people in a sense, Maxine Dupree. Now look it, American Made versus Alpha Academy just was not a good feud at all. Mainly because you just threw Chad Gable into kind of like his glorified jobber position that he was in before his whole potential IC title run. But Maxine Dupree and Ivy Nile have been friends for a very long time. We didn't really do much of the rivalry other than like one match that I believe wasn't even really a match. It was just whatever. I want to see a bit more from Maxine Dupree and Ivy Nile this year. I think this could also help Nivy too if you have her actually crush Maxine Dupree, not in the Royal Rumble, but like in their eventual feud. That's going to make Ivy Nile look like an actual heel and an actual threat within the division, and might help her become like a mini Brock Lesnar within her division. Not saying that she's going to like run through the mid-card scene, but she could be somebody that maybe gets the belt and holds it for like 3, 4, 5 months and is just running through everybody that she faces until she eventually gets dethroned. And it's also going to help out Maxine because it's going to put a little more, it's going to put a little more eyes on her. She's probably going to get taken out pretty dang quick, but you kind of need those people in there that could just be, the people that we all love to see. Not going to see them that long, but at least she'll get a little bit of, spotlight. At number 10, I'm going to go with one Lyra Valkyria. You have multiple mid-card talents in here right now, so you want to start pushing some of these potential feuds with Lyra. I don't know how long she is going to hold the belt. I do believe that she probably holds it till after WrestleMania, and then we start pushing the Lyra Roxanne feud, and maybe Roxanne dethrones her. But if Roxanne doesn't dethrone her, Well, I actually kind of hope she does, because that's going to be like 6-7 months, and we just don't need a long run with the mid-card belt unless you're just that one. Like, if you're a Gunther, then okay, you need that belt for about a year or two, but, well, even then, he really didn't need it for 2 years. But Lyra, I don't need that long of a run with. I think you could, do whatever. You can do whatever with her, but having all these potential feuds in there for her is going to help her run be that much better, and it's not just going to be we're hoping for the big Lyra Becky match at WrestleMania, or we're hoping for the big Lyra Roxanne feud down the line, which also, speaking of Lyra versus Becky, you can actually have them have a standoff here that could be, calling up to that potential Lyra Becky feud at WrestleMania. And we don't need either one of them to turn heel. If you want to do it, cool, but I think just having them both be faces and really being a callback to their NXT match back in, I forgot exactly when, I think that was Halloween Havoc, and then just a lot of callbacks to things that have happened over the past year as well. You need Lyra around this time too, because you're going to still have some of them big names in there, and she is supposed to be one of the big women that's going to be carrying the division, so you want to have her in there with the Beckys, the Charlottes, etc., etc. Now for number 11, this is going to be an interesting one that I don't think it's going to happen, but I would love to see it happen. Got to get some legends in there. Bring Trish Stratus back. A lot of people have been saying that if Lita is going to make a return at a Royal Rumble, it's going to be because Trish Stratus is there. And if you're telling me I'm going to get one of my favorites of all time in Lita, and the only way I can get it is because of Trish Stratus being there, then Trish Stratus, you better put your dang boots on and get in that match. Also, we're going to be able to see some cool little callbacks to Trish and Charlotte, Trish and Becky, etc., etc. So it's pretty cool, At number 12, though, let's go ahead and ruin the potential Trish Lita moment and make this woman one of the biggest heels on the roster, because I believe she should stay a heel and not go a face like some have said. Liv Morgan. We're going to have Liv Morgan eliminate Trish Stratus, so we cannot get the Trish Stratus Lita stare down that's going to call back to their big old rivalry in the early 2000s. And it's going to help Liv a lot more, because I feel like she's someone who could also be a staple within that mid-card scene. Heck, maybe even get back into the world title pictures. And if we're still trying to make Liv and Dom be like that super heel couple, this is only going to help them even more. We're going to have both of them going after legends, potentially have a Dom Ray match at WrestleMania. Maybe we even get a Liv Trish match at WrestleMania. I'm here for it, man. Now at number 13, we are going to get Lita returning here. Just one more entry away from getting Lita versus Trish. Is going to have so many fans like, oh, Liv, I hate you even more, which is only going to help Liv out so much more. And if maybe we can't get the Liv versus Trish match at WrestleMania, maybe we can get Lita versus Liv at WrestleMania instead. I'm 100% here for it. I do believe we probably should put Liv over in that match. But if you want to have Lita win, that's fine by me as well. Plus, you also get to just see Lita again, and who doesn't want to see Lita in the Royal Rumble? Hey, I know I want to see Lita in the Royal Rumble. I want to see Lita back in WWE, but obviously we're not going to get that because she's much up there in age now and probably can't compete at a level that she feels comfortable competing at. And with that, on to number 14, and we're going to be having Nia Jax appear here. I struggled a bit on where to have her appear. I was like, okay, you could have her appear early and call back to the Nia Becky stuff, or you could have her appear later and call back to some other matches that I will speak about later on. But I was like, you know what, maybe have her be in the middle, because Nia is someone that dominates and usually does really dang well in the Rumble, and there's a few people in here that you could have her, throw over the top and really still help out her whole Royal Rumble run and show her as one of the more dominant women within the division. And you could still call back to some of these moments like a Nia and Becky, because I assume that Becky would still be here by now. Maybe we even make Becky look more like a legitimate threat to titles by having her not take out Nia Jax, but have a great showing at this moment against Nia Jax, even though she's already been through so many other competitors as well. Now at number 15, you gotta have her somewhere in this dang Royal Rumble, so I feel like in the middle would be a fine spot. One, in Natalya. I'm not the biggest fan of Natalya, but I do understand the impact that she has had on a lot of women within the locker room and the impact that she's had on women's division as a overall. And I just think that this is probably the best spot for her. Maybe she eliminates like 1 to 2 people and then gets eliminated herself. It's not going to hurt her at all. And the people she eliminates, hopefully it's nobody that has the potential to be a bigger star within the company. But if they do, like if she eliminates, say, a Ivy Nile, maybe you push an Ivy Nile Natalya feud down the line. Maybe this is how we get Ivy Nile to that Intercontinental Championship picture, not the one that Braun Breaker's holding. You always got to say women's, I feel like, at this point, because say the Intercontinental Championship, she might be going against Braun Breaker, and we don't need Ivy Nile going against Braun Breaker. We need Chad Gable to go against Braun Breaker, and then have Chad Gable dethrone Braun Breaker, so, we can give some respect to Chad Gable, because, oh my gosh, this man deserves it. With that, let's go on to number 16, and we're going to be having one Sonya Deville appear. Might seem kind of weird here because why would she be in the Rumble? But I believe WWE wants to do something with PFC because they have a pretty talented dang group. Zoe Stark is really, really good wrestler. And I think a lot of people are starting to realize that now that their matches aren't on time constraints. A lot of those botches didn't happen in the past match. Shayna Baszler, also a really talented wrestler. Sonya Deville, super amazing on the mic, really amazing character work, and pretty dang good in the ring as well. But we gotta get more recognition or more eyes onto them. We gotta get this women's group to be more recognizable. Let's have R-Truth be here. You might think, isn't that gonna make them look like jobbers? Yes and no, because with R-Truth being there, the moment's gonna be shown off so many times to where people aren't gonna forget about Sonya and the rest of PFC. Maybe they can even use this as a reasoning to go on a real big heel run within that mid-card spot and be one of the top women's group, or be one of the top women's factions within the mid-card scene, very similar to Karrion Kross and Final Testament. Now from 16 on to 17, let's go with one Dakota Kai, a woman that I believe still should have won the Women's Intercontinental Championship. I know a lot of people have been going back and forth on her, and a lot of folks that hate Dakota Kai, y'all don't hate Dakota Kai at all, okay? Please stop the cap. Y'all don't. Y'all just hate all the people that are saying that Dakota Kai should have won this dang belt. Y'all definitely ain't Lyra fans either, because when she was getting flamed all over the internet, none of y'all was there to actually defend her. But Dakota Kai should be in this Rumble, and she should also have a big showing in this Rumble, because I think that this should be a very big year for one Damage Control. And if you're gonna have a big year for them, you gotta have a big year for Dakota Kai as well. And now that you got the mid-card title, maybe you could have Io go on to be the Women's World Champion. Then you could have Dakota go on to be the Intercontinental Champion. Then you could have Kabuki Warriors, whenever Asuka does come back, go on to be the Tag Team Champions. And you're just gonna show off, you're gonna have so much gold on this group, and they're gonna look like a dominant faction that they once were. And I believe that they also need to be a dominant faction because, we haven't really done much with the other two big factions of 2024, like the Bloodline and Judgment Day. Bloodline, we tried to do a lot with them, but it just didn't really, in my opinion, didn't really work out. Damage Control, they're still around, and people still love them, and people want to see more from them. I think 2025 should be another big year for this group. And from there, let's go ahead and move on to number 18, and I'm going to go with Naomi. Now, I believe at this point in time, she is going to be a heel. I believe that she's the one that did attack one Jade Cargill for Bianca Belair. I don't think Bianca attacked her, but I think Naomi attacked Jade because Bianca couldn't do it, because Bianca couldn't, pull the trigger. She couldn't go through with it because Jade was her friend. But I think Naomi's going to be a heel by this time, and we need some more heels in the match. We also need somebody that could just absolutely show out in this match. And one thing about Naomi is if there's a Battle Royale, a Royal Rumble, a lot of women within a match, she's going to show out. She's basically the Kofi Kingston of Royal Rumbles and Battle Royale. Now, at number 19, I want to start calling back to some moments within the match. I want some rivalries to start happening within this match, and I believe this is what we should have Lash Legend get into the match. She's going to be a future star for the main roster. You can already see it with the way they're pushing her. She's improved so dang much as well. Shout out to Lash Legend, man. You are absolutely killing it, and I do believe that they're going to get the women's tag team titles from Bianca Belair and Naomi, and I think in that match, we're going to see Lash and Naomi really go at each other and really put on a show. Let's call back to that in the Royal Rumble if that does happen, and have Lash Legend and Naomi go at each other and put on an absolute show within the match. And maybe you even have Lash Legend eliminate Naomi so we can really start to push Lash Legend more. Also, there's a potential that Charlotte Flair is still in this match. You still might even have Nia Jax in this match. You're telling me we're going to get those standoffs between Lash Legend and Nia, Lash Legend and Charlotte, Lash Legend and maybe even Becky Lynch if she's still in this match as well. We want to show off Lash as much as we can, and I believe that this is the best stage to do it. With that, though, let's go ahead and jump on over to number 20, and it's going to be one Bayley. Yeah, she's going to be here as well. She's going to be on Monday Night Raw, Friday Night SmackDown, NXT, Royal Rumble. She might even be on Dynamite and Collision and Ring of Honor and TNA. Heck, she might even be in Stardom as well. Who knows, man? Bayley's going to be fighting everywhere and trying to have rivalries with everybody, man. She on her Pete Dunne run right now. But it's going to be a really great moment to see one Bayley, Becky, and Charlotte in the ring. I really wish we could see Mercedes Moné there as well, because it's going gonna be, it would be an absolutely beautiful moment. And I know that Mercedes probably gonna be sitting home like, dang, I wish AEW and WWE had a great relationship so I could be in that match, because it would just be an iconic moment. But I do believe that we could have Bayley, Becky, and Charlotte all team together to take out one Nia Jax, and that's just going to bring tears to my eyes as a fan of the Four Horsewomen. Now, at number 21, speaking of someone who may not be, or no, actually isn't a fan of the Four Horsewomen because she believes that she has already surpassed them, number 21 is going to be one Roxanne Perez. It's calling to the feud right now with Roxanne and Bayley. Who knows when we actually get that match? Maybe it happens at Vengeance Day. Maybe it happens at Elimination Chamber or at Stand and Deliver, because I think Bayley is actually going to compete at Stand and Deliver and not at WrestleMania, which is going to be great for her because she never got to compete at Stand and Deliver. It's also going to be a great moment, though, to see Roxanne, Bayley, Becky, and Charlotte in the ring together, because Roxanne really is that next woman up. She's going to be the future of women's wrestling, and this is how we show it off now. Also, if we want to, in this match, what we could do, because a lot of people are starting to call Roxanne the next Charlotte, and they're calling Lyra the next Becky. We could have Roxanne and Charlotte go at one Becky and Lyra and really just put that into people that, hey, Lyra and Roxanne are the next two women up. They are the ones that are going to be leading this division for years to come. They're probably going to have some really big feuds with each other. They're going to have some really big matches with each other. They may even main event a PLE as well. I need to see that, and I know for a fact that Roxanne is going to be in this match. I hope she does appear after Bayley. Now, at number 22, speaking of 5 Feet of Fury, we're going to have the original 5 Feet of Fury, the goddess, one Alexa Bliss. We're probably going to get a standoff between her and Roxanne to eventually push that feud down the line. Maybe we even get Alexa Bliss, Becky, Charlotte, and Bayley standing together instead of Roxanne, so we, can put some highlights onto Alexa Bliss and show that, hey, maybe we didn't give her enough respect that she actually deserves, because she is one of the women, like the Four Horsewomen, that did a lot for women's wrestling, and she deserves that so much, because I've said already that Alexa Bliss is super underrated. I don't know where it started happening, but all over my TikTok, I've been getting a bunch of just hate for Alexa Bliss. I actually had to make a dang video because of the fact that folks was hating on Alexa Bliss and AJ Lee and saying that they never accomplished much in WWE and that they weren't main eventers and that they just were never top women within the division, which I thought was absolutely insane. Please put Alexa Bliss at this spot and let her get a cool little standoff with the Four Horsewomen or with Roxanne Perez, so we could, acknowledge how great Alexa Bliss actually is. Now, at number 23, I guess we're going to continue the 5 Feet of Fury trend, because this woman also is basically 5 feet, Io Sky. And with her appearing so late, I know a lot of people believe that she's going to win the Rumble. I don't think she is going to, but it will create the illusion that, okay, she appeared later. Everybody that could potentially win it, like a Charlotte, like a Becky, like a Bayley, like even a Nia or Roxanne, they're going to be tired by this point. I guess Bayley and Roxanne wouldn't be as tired, but they're going to be pretty tired at this point. So Io Sky could potentially go on to steal the Royal Rumble winning spot, but I don't think that she will win it. But it's going to create that illusion regardless, and you're going to get her in there with some of the top competitors within the women's division. She's also a woman who I believe is going to be helping lead the women's division for the next few years to come. Got to show some love to Io Sky as well. And look, if we have any high flyers still left in this match, we're going to get a phenomenal showing. Like, if we still have Sol Ruka left, oh my goodness gracious. I couldn't even imagine Sol Ruka and Ivy Nile Sol Ruka and Io Sky being in the same ring together. It's going to feed families. Now, at number 24, I do believe that Raquel is going to find her way into this dang match. I don't think she's going to do much in it, nor do I believe she's going to do much in the mid-card scene. Maybe had the Liv Rhea feud been a lot better and had she gotten a louder pop when she returned, maybe she could have. But I feel like Raquel just basically lost all aura. You kind of just need someone, though, to enter around this time to get eliminated. Maybe Io Sky can eliminate her. That's going to be a pretty cool little moment right there, too. You got a Giant and Raquel versus like a 5 Feet of Fury and Io Sky. Also, Io Sky does amazing against Giants as well. And there's a lot of other women there, too, that could, eliminate her. But I think Io Sky probably needs that one. Especially because, Io and Liv had a big old feud. You kind of call back, I guess, to that little, well, not a big old feud, but you know what I mean. They had a big match Saturday night's main event. You can call back to that moment right there. Now, at number 25, I'm going to go with one Jordan Grace. I don't know where I really want her to be slotted at. This one was actually the hardest one. I had everybody listed. I even had her listed, but then I was like, well, do I want her to appear earlier? Do I want her to appear in the middle? Do I want her to appear at the end? I didn't know where to put her at. So I was like, okay, well, you know what? Let me have her be wherever Io Sky and another competitor is going to be, because then at least we got some big names in there for one Jordynne Grace to have potential standoffs with. And I do believe she's going to be within like at least the final 3, final 6. And I believe being at the end of the Rumble actually would get more eyes on her than being at the beginning. But I guess you could also make the argument being at the beginning and getting a lot of big eliminations would also get eyes on her. So wherever you think she should be at, I think is fine too. I'm just going to put 25 because it was the best spot for me. Now at number 26, we're going to have Bianca Belair appear here, and we're going to be teasing a potential Bianca Belair-Jordynne Grace match because we're going to have Jordynne Grace getting ready for Bianca, but then here comes Jade to attack Bianca so that Bianca cannot enter the Royal Rumble, pushing that feud to WrestleMania. I don't think Bianca needs to be in it, because if you put Bianca in it, if you have her, go against Jade and all that stuff, you can have the match happen within like the ring, but I think the first time that they should actually be locking horns should be at WrestleMania. We should not have it anywhere else, have the big match there, and I think it should continue past WrestleMania as well to like Backlash and whatever your next big PLE is you want to put them at. Maybe you can even have them be in King and Queen of the Ring and actually have that match, not the match, but have the feud end at the finals for Queen of the Ring. That'd be really cool as well, but I do believe that if Bianca is going to be the heel, which I do believe she is, Jade should take Bianca out. Now at number 27, this is probably going to be a really quick entry because of the fact that Bianca won't make the match, so you're going to have the 10 seconds counting down real quick. The crowd's going to be like, oh, dang, we got to count down again. Oh, my God, I wasn't ready, man. I started eating my popcorn and all that stuff. But we are going to be having B-Fab be slotted here at the 27th spot. Whether you have her appear real early or have her appear real later, maybe you want to have her appear earlier because of the whole Piper Niven situation, so maybe you swap Piper and you swap Michi and you swap B-Fab, but wherever you have her appear at, I want her to be in the Rumble. I think she's done such an incredible job with just the work she's put in over the years and really becoming a credible wrestler within the division. I think she's someone that can even eventually hold the Women's United States Championship. She may not get a long run with it, but I believe she can get like a cool little 2-3 month run with it. She's just someone, though, that I want to see great things happen for her. She doesn't need to get any eliminations. She can have a pretty good showing and then get eliminated by somebody. I just want to see great things happen to her because I'm proud of everything that she's done, man. She has accomplished so much. And, again, she's not like, this decorated woman's athlete, but she's someone that she came in with, I forgot the name of that dang rap group they had. Hit Row. She came in with Hit Row. She was kind of always at the back, but she was one of the more entertaining ones that could rap, at least. I'll tell you right now, it wasn't the other two, not Swerve, but it wasn't Adonis or Top Dollar. It was B-Fab. And ever since then, she's just grown, and her mic work has gotten even better than it was before. So I want to just see great things happen for B-Fab. With that, though, we're going to go on to number 28, and it's going to be one Chelsea Green. This is where I think you could also help out B-Fab because we are, starting to push that B-Fab Chelsea Green feud and potentially getting her to be within that Women's United States title picture. She did lose to Piper Niven, sadly, but we could still push her into that match, and we could actually have Chelsea Green not want to get in the ring because of everybody that's in the ring, and then B-Fab slides out the ring, start chasing her around the ring, chases Chelsea Green into the ring. Chelsea Green gets in the ring, gets immediately eliminated by a Jordynne Grace or maybe even by a B-Fab, so she gets a moment. Chelsea gets to continue her little comedicness and all that stuff. And it's just a little, it's a pretty good moment for, both of them to be able to build their feud up. And this is the best thing to do with Chelsea Green. You don't need Chelsea Green getting any eliminations. We need to continue to push Chelsea the way we push Chelsea as somebody that's just scared to get within the, to have any matches and all that stuff. Heck, maybe even have Piper come out and actually help her eliminate B-Fab or something like that. With that, though, it's going to number 29, a woman that made an appearance earlier but didn't get to get into the match. Not Bianca, but we are going to put Jade in this match. She obviously needs to be in the match. We need to make her look like a powerhouse within this match. We're going to have her. We're going to have Jordynne Grace. We're going to have Charlotte Flair probably still. Might even have Becky Lynch still. Heck, maybe we even still have Nia Jax. Maybe she didn't get eliminated by the 4 horsewomen, or I guess the 3 horsewomen. So Hey, also Lash Legend's gonna be there too, and there's just so many amazing standoffs. Jade Cargill needs to be within at least like the final 3, final 4 of the match if we're still gonna continue to push her as one of the future stars of the women's division. And maybe she gets distracted by Bianca Belair coming out, and that's what causes Jade to get eliminated, and then they go back and they start having their big old, little scrummage over here outside of the ring, and then here comes security and all that. We gotta break them up, and we're really just setting up for that big women's match between the two at WrestleMania. And at number 30, nobody is ready for Asuka. Except I hope everybody in the match is, because if you're not, Asuka gonna get the dang win and go on to WrestleMania to go fight Rhea Ripley or Tiffany Stratton. So yeah, I hope they are ready. But you're gonna have some great matches in there regardless. We're gonna have Asuka and Io Sky. Maybe they like hug it out in the ring. You're gonna have Asuka versus Jordan Grace, Asuka versus potentially Charlotte Flair versus Jade Cargill versus Becky Lynch versus a Roxanne Perez versus a Bayley. Whoever the heck is left in this match, you're gonna have Asuka going against all of them, and it's just gonna be a great moment. The start of the Women's Rumble started off absolutely fantastic, the middle absolutely fantastic, and then the ending absolutely fantastic as well. And maybe Io's even getting jumped by somebody, and then, we start wondering, okay, who's going to help her out? Who's coming in? And here comes Asuka to help her out, and now we get the big moment right there where Asuka and Io Sky take somebody out of the dang ring, and we're all like, whoa, yes, Damage Control is back, and it's just going to be a beautiful moment regardless of how the heck the outcome plays out. Now that we talked about all 30 entries, who is going to win this dang Rumble? Well, before I tell y'all exactly who I think is going to win it, let me tell you what my final 4 participants are going to be, and I believe it's going to be a past, present, 2 futures. So we're going to have Charlotte Flair as the past, Io Sky as the present, and Jade Cargill and Roxanne Perez as the future. I don't think Roxanne or Jade do win a top title this year, but I do believe they're going to win a mid-card title this year. Io is likely going to get a top title this year, and Charlotte might as well. But I do believe the final 2, it's got to be Charlotte Flair and likely Jade Cargill, unless you're trying to push Charlotte Flair as a heel. Then you could have her go against Io Sky as the final 2 participants and have her, take Io Sky out of the Rumble. That's going to just help her be even more of a heel, which is the way I believe you should go if you're going to push the Charlotte Flair-Tiffany Stratton feud, because of the fact that Charlotte Flair is just much better on the mic than Tiffany Stratton is. If you try to push Tiffany as a heel and you push Charlotte as a face, Tiffany's going to get cooked on the mic. I don't think she's that good right now. She's still very green, especially in that area. Her ring skills are a bit better, so I believe she could keep up with one Charlotte Flair in the ring, but on the mic, nope. But if she's a face, it won't matter, especially because everybody's just going to want Tiffany Stratton to beat Charlotte Flair, because a lot of folks just don't like Charlotte Flair. I do say, though, that I believe Charlotte Flair should beat Tiffany Stratton at WrestleMania. I actually hope that this match at least headlines one of the 2 shows, either the first night or the second night. It probably won't. It'll probably be an opener, but regardless, it's going to be an absolutely fantastic match. And with that, that's who I believe is going to be in the Royal Rumble, who's going to be the final 4 participants, and who's going to win the dang thing. Y'all go ahead and let me know down below. Is there anybody that you feel that I forgot? And do you think that Charlotte Flair should win this Rumble? She should be the first woman to be the 2-time winner of a Royal Rumble. It's very likely, because Charlotte Flair usually is the first to do a lot of things within the women's division. If not, though, who do you think should win the Rumble? And if you haven't already, make sure you do like and subscribe for more.